Hey guys, welcome to today's STPL. My name is Kix, if you've never seen me before, but I'm sure the people who have tuned in already will know who I am. I guess it's more for the benefit of the YouTube pods. Either way, I was back at work today, and that was certainly fun. I'm glad to be done with work for today, I must admit. It seems like the polar opposite of December. I've not actually been properly back since the end of last year, essentially, and because the end of the year is always so quiet, where everyone sort of gets super chilled out, all of a sudden in like January people get really impatient and really rude for no reason on the phone. So yeah, it's certainly been interesting today. I got through it though. I got here to do some casting, which is always fun. Sometimes I guess this is probably the most tired I've been for a while, so forgive me if I get some names wrong and things like that. That's just probably what's going to happen, but we'll put up with it. It's all good. Just to have a quick look. Yeah, we're almost ready. Let's quickly have a look at the team rankings for now. They are obviously going to be super important as we head into the final parts of week 11, as we'll then only have 2 more weeks left of playing, and with 2 more weeks left of playing rather than leaks left of playing, essentially there are 8 teams going through to the playoffs. I still haven't made the graphic for that. I'm going to do that tomorrow, but essentially the top 8 make it through. The bottom 6 we will be saying goodbye to, unfortunately, but that's how tournaments work. By saying goodbye, we mean they won't have any more STPL games to play in Season 2, but hopefully if they come back in Season 3, we'll get to see them again. But it's very, very tight. Obviously the top 3 spots are quite far away from everyone else, but from 4 all the way down to 11, things are incredibly close. A couple of match wins, a couple of match losses either way could be the difference, but especially between 9, 10 and 11 from getting into the top 8. So it's kind of crazy. Every single match is going to be super important as we get further into the tournament. It was important at the beginning, but obviously when you're in week 1 and week 2, a match loss here and there doesn't really matter too much. It's when you really start to get into the nitty-gritty, the final few weeks, where things slowly start to get a bit more crazy. So we've got a lot of really, really good teams up in the top 8 already. But we've also got some really good teams missing the top 8. We've got Ash, Clan Rev, and Net Wars not making it up there. Obviously 12th, 13th, and 14th will not be able to make it to the playoffs this season. But hopefully, maybe in Season 3, they'll be able to do something. Now, Nice, I believe, are going to be disappearing after Season 2, so we won't see those. But Albert, there's STPL on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's been well, admittedly, I would like to say it's been the schedule forever, but yeah, I'm bad at sticking to schedules sometimes, especially when things go wrong. But luckily enough, I'm here again. Let's have a look at the player rankings. Not too much has changed up there, as most of the players haven't played this week out of the top 10. The players in NAS have, but today we're going to have the players from Net Wars playing. Koga unfortunately got a walkover today, so we won't see his game, but Yeti is going to be up in game number 1. And then on Wednesday, we're going to see some of the Soul players playing as well, so that should be a lot of fun. And I believe FamSE is going to be playing on Friday as well. And wait, do we have IRK today? No, IRK on Wednesday as well, so we should see DeWalt then. Hey Indigo Wilds, good to see you, man. Let's have a look at our matchup for today, at least our first one. It's going to be Net Wars versus BuLL. Now, unfortunately, there was a walkover in this series. Much like in BuLL's game against EF, for some reason one of their players didn't show up. I'm going to need to speak to the BuLL captaincy to find out what is exactly going in there, because obviously we do not want walkovers in the tournament. But essentially, it can't be helped sometimes. It is a very, very... I was going to say it's a very long tournament, but it's not Season 1 anymore. But it is a big commitment to play in this. There's 13 weeks of group stage in Season 2. There'll be a little bit more in the playoffs as well. And sometimes, especially the smaller teams like BuLL, every Sunday it's quite difficult. Like, sometimes you'll have something pop up. So I do understand that walkovers are an inevitability of a global tournament, but I do my best to try and avoid them. But NetWars, of course, one of the better teams from Season 1. They did lose True Touch and Bonneth, but they've still got a very strong roster in their width. So even though NetWars are a little bit lower, the BuLL team here, this series could actually tie up the two teams 5-6. So we'll have to see how that's going to go. Now let's have a look at the rosters we're going to see. Going on about the rosters, of course. We're going to have Yeti starting us off against Reina. That's going to be a PvT. That should be a lot of fun on New Tornado. We're going to have a walkover in set 2, unfortunately. That would have been Kogut versus Inca, so we've dodged the TvT. We've got a TvP between Ziggy and Coke. Now, Coke is a new player for BuLL. I have absolutely no idea who he was, but he subbed in for someone. And we're going to have a ZVP with Mr. Zero, Mr. Bombastic himself, against Dark on Whiteout. This is a really cool series. I'm looking forward to it a lot. NetWars may have struggled a bit this season, but they are going to be starting the series up 1-0, or at least they will do after they've played the first game. Even if they lose this game, we could still head a little bit further in the series. So looking forward to it. Let's introduce our first map. Once again, we're going to be heading into New Tornado. New Tornado even. Very, very standard-ish 4-player map. 3 bases in each corner. So not as many bases as some maps. It's got the same amount of bases as Fighting Spirit if you just took away the center base. And honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. The minerals in the natural have 2,000 minerals at them rather than 1,000 or 1,500, so it is essentially a double base, which means when you take that base's minerals, you are going to be allowed to be on 2 bases for a very long time. And now our first game is going to be a PvT. Things have definitely been a little bit better for Terran on this map, but we've had a little bit upset-wise in terms of matchups. There's not been many upsets, should I say. A lot of the Terran players that have played against lower level Protoss players have won, and a lot of good Protoss players who have played against Terran have won as well. So it is going to be your very normal PvT here, I think. Yeti starting us off here for NetWars, one of their stronger players. I haven't changed his picture, but this is the wrong Yeti. This is actually the Russian Yeti. So if Yeti's in the stream, I do apologize. I forgot to rename the file, so if you do want to send me your updated photo, I will add it to the STPL database, and I'll remove this one. But for now, you can be the Russian Yeti. It's all good. Yeti with a 69% win rate overall, rank 10 in the STPL. And don't forget, guys, that's rank 10 out of 300 players plus that have played games, which is kind of crazy. He's 6-5 against Terran, but one of those wins includes a fantastic late game macro win against ASL qualified BuLL. So very, very strong PvT player here. And his opponent for BuLL is going to be Reina. Reina, 53% win rate for him. He's actually in the top 50 as well. Reina has got 7 wins against Protoss, 3 losses, so a very strong TVP player as well. And I think if we had to have a TVP in this series, these are the 2 players I want to see it between. And let's not waste any more time. Let's get into game number 1. It's Yeti versus Reina on New Tornado. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the Magenta Terran fighting from Bolivia for BuLL. It's Reina. And his opponent spawning down here in the 7 o'clock position in the blue, fighting from Poland for NetWars. It's Yeti. Hey Custom Use, Verbo, I'm going to be casting VT versus Seoul on Wednesday. That's going to be the first game I'll cast on Wednesday, the first series. So if you want to see that one, make sure you tune in when the stream goes on, or you blink and might miss it. And then it's kind of crazy, VT are playing against Seoul this week. And wait, is VT against Seoul this week? Or is that next week? What did I say? Yeah, so VT against Seoul is going to be next week, but it could be Friday, depending on what the other series are looking like. But White versus VT is going to be on Wednesday, so it's kind of crazy. White, Seoul, and VT have mentioned... White, Seoul, and VT have essentially dodged each other. Seoul and White have played, but neither of them have played Valhalla team, so Seoul are currently in top place, Valhalla team are in second, and White Clan are in third, so we're going to have a week of Valhalla team versus White Clan, and then a week of Valhalla team versus Seoul. They should be some very, very exciting matchups. I know Bishop, I think, is making his STPL debut against Seoul, so it may even be against White Clan actually, and that should be a pretty sick match. In terms of this game, Yeti, of course, a very strong Protoss versus Terran. Reina, a very strong Terran versus Protoss. We've got a gateway into core, or gateway gas core for Yeti. Reina is going for a factory expand most likely. We'll see if he pulls his guys off gas. And you can actually see the lineups for White versus Valhalla team on Team Liquid. I'll go through them in a second, but essentially we're going to have Bai versus Bishop, that'll be a TVT. We're going to have Famasi versus Last, that'll be a TVP. Fairy versus PHJ, that'll be a ZVT. And Ju versus Dasik, I can't say his name, but that's going to be a ZVP. So we've got a good amount of varied matchups there. That should be a lot of fun. I think it's possible that maybe there was a couple of changes, so that those names may not be final, but that should be cool. And yeah, we can see that Reina has in fact chosen to pull off gas, so it is going to be an expansion behind this. Walling off at the front. I don't believe this wall is actually Zealot tight, but it does make it impossible for Dragoons to come in. He did trap the... Wait, no, he trapped the probe in, so I guess... Wait, there's no way this is tight. It is. Huh. I didn't think that would be tight. I thought Depot wasn't tight against Zealots and probes, but I guess we'll find out. I think this probe is going to try and make its way out the base. If it does get out, Reina is definitely going to have a really big surprise. Because he did just lift his barracks to do it. But we're going to have a machine shop. Likely going to be a siege expand coming in from Reina. He is saving up to get his command center, maybe delaying it a little bit, just to kind of trick the probe. But sometimes if you delay a little bit too long, you can actually cause problems for yourself. So he's not going to delay it too long. We will have a siege tank coming in first based on the money he's saving. We'll keep an eye out for that. We've got Yeti, of course, going for Dragoon range. And... I mean, you can't really think of anything else in PvT that you're going to be doing. We'll have to check what timing Yeti's going to expand. He usually expands relatively early, but no, Yeti is actually going to go for 2-gate here. He knows his opponent is likely going to be going in to a siege expand, but no, it's going to be a mine expand, so this could be a little bit dangerous for Yeti. Although, when you're going for 2-gate, it does allow you to defend against like all these FD pushes and stuff you can do. Obviously, the FD push not going to be fantastic. Now, Yeti does see the command center, so I mean, there's not really too much you can do. He needs to pull this Dragoon away, though. He doesn't want to lose this early Dragoon. He's actually pushing on the high ground. This is a massive issue, taking a ton of damage on both of those Dragoons, losing one of them. He only killed 3 Marines, I think that was. I think Reina got incredibly lucky with that high ground, and that isn't even the first time I've seen that happen to Yeti in STPL. Like, Yeti with high ground is very, very unlucky. There was a game back on Katrina SE in Season 1, Round 3, where Yeti was playing against DeWalt in a PvP. He was so close to being able to break DeWalt, and break DeWalt's losing streak as well, which I think is still currently at like 10 against Protoss. And he missed like 1,000,000 shots on his Dragoons pushing up the high ground. It was so upsetting for Yeti. But looks like we are going to have Reina push out with 2 tanks, 4 Marines. He did lose 3 of them, so it's not going to be the strongest push. But there is only going to be 2 Dragoons here. And he is going to have to work hard to micro this back. He doesn't want to lose any more Dragoons, as if he loses more Dragoons than these tanks and vultures get to his natural, he could actually lose it. Now, Yeti is going for a 3rd base here. We'll just take a look at the minerals just to show you that it is in fact 2,000 minerals on this map. Now this is a good place for Yeti to sit. He can snipe a few of these Marines. He should have high ground against the tanks. Let's have a quick look at the Oh, this is a bit dangerous. You don't want to be pushing down the ramp, but he wants to get the tanks. He's going to jump on in. One of the Dragoons goes down, but this is going to be 2 tanks. 2 tanks going down, and that is massive. That is severely going to hurt Reyna's ability to push for the next 10 minutes or so in this game. The crazy thing people don't understand about TVP a lot of the time is when you lose those early tanks, you lose your tempo. You're essentially forced to take a third base quicker than you'd maybe want to, forced to build more vultures, and forced to sit back, because those 2 tanks, that is a ton of damage that you'll be losing out on. Now it looks like Reyna is going to be able to scout this third base with his vulture, so good movement, possibly going in there for some mines, but does want to make sure he uses all of these mines before he loses the vulture. Mines are incredibly important in TVP. Now it looks like he is going to lose a vulture with 2 of them, so oh my god. Okay, the Dragoon takes the mine anyway, but it's not the end of the world. It is a little bit of hull damage though. Now, we've got Reyna going for a very quick third base, as I thought he would do. He is going to be expanding towards his Protoss opponent. Not the easiest thing to do, especially when you lose those tanks. But essentially, the only push path Yeti has is here. You can go around the middle of the map, but it takes a lot longer. Now, as long as there's a decent amount of mines, a good tank spread for what he has, it should be a little bit harder for Reyna to push. Now, is this going to be double Stargate or double Gateway? It's double Gateway. Okay, I was going to say, if that's double Stargate, that's crazy. Yeti is good with carriers. He beat BuLL with them, but I think this map definitely suits Arbiters a little bit better, especially in these positions, as you are going to get a really free recall on the third base. Going around to the back as well is pretty good. And Edgewater, this Yeti is one of the best players of the last STPL season, and one of the best players of this season as well. He is ranked 10 in the STPL overall, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, he did have a 13-0 win rate for current win rate anyway. It's kind of, or not current, but a 13-0 win rate in a row, which was kind of crazy. Now, admittedly, you could look at his games and say, well, he played a lot of PvP, he played a lot of players worse than him, but at the end of the day, for someone to come out and consistently win 13 weeks in a row of playing is crazy. Best of ones are so unbelievably volatile. Anyone can win if you prepare well enough. And the one thing Yeti did back then, and he continues to do now, is prepared incredibly well for every single one of his opponents, and his games really showed that. Now Reyna has managed to get this third base up. This is definitely going to be good for him. And as Radley said, unfortunately, Yeti has had an injury since Season 1, so it does become a little bit harder, which is why he's not been pushing as much, or he's not been playing as much, but he still comes out. Oh, okay, so he had an injury back then. Is it a wrist injury, I'm guessing? There's a lot of wrist injuries among late gamers. Now the engineering bay is going to go down here for Reyna. A little bit unfortunate. You don't really want to lose that. You really, if you can, want to send an SCV to go and repair that, because you need turrets. You need turrets, especially at this third base. You're going to need a massive ring of them. And I've actually got more pylons being added on. Stargate added on as well. This is likely going to be for an Arbiter, but he could go for carriers. As I said, Yeti isn't too bad with carriers. One of his stronger moves, actually. Oh, and apparently Yeti has Carpal Tunnel, the most aggressive type, or the more aggressive type, which kind of sucks. Oh, there is a fleet beacon. It's going to be 2 Stargate carrier now. Is Reyna actually going to scout this? He's still only on 3 factories. He's been on how many bases? 3 bases now for about 3 or 4 minutes. So he definitely needs more of those factories. He needs to go up to 7, up to 9. And that really is going to cause some problems. Now, there's a lot of vultures moving around. They're not really going to be able to find too much damage. And the important thing about carriers is, unlike with Arbiters where you need like 5-6 bases and a ton of gateways, you don't need that with carriers. You just need to keep the carriers alive. As long as you can do that, that's the most important thing. Double Stargate carriers means you're going to be getting your carriers out very, very quickly. Oh my goodness, Reyna with the perfect scan, sees the Stargates, sees the fleet beacon, and that's it. I mean, obviously Yeti is going to be on a timer here, but the trouble for Reyna is he doesn't have those extra factories. With only 5 factories, you can't suddenly push. You don't have enough units. And that's going to cause problems, because the later this game goes, the more the carriers get stronger, the higher the carrier number becomes. And yes, Reyna can build a ton of turrets, but he's not got that many SCVs. He's only got 62 across his 3 bases. And where he's still trying to add on a ton of factories, that's going to cause a lot of problems. Now, in terms of upgrades, we have only 1-0 for Terran. Yeti, of course, he doesn't have any upgrades on his ground, but that's not going to be too important. The important thing is that Reyna does not have to attack yet. Yeah, he's only just started to attack, and that is going to be a massive problem. There is 2 armories, but the other one is not upgrading just yet. There is Cloak coming in for the Wraiths, so Reyna is going to play a style that makes Radley very happy here. He is going to go mass Cloaked Wraiths against the carriers to try and catch Yeti off guard. But unfortunately for Reyna, Yeti is the player who has played with Radley tons in practice, as far as I'm aware. And that's going to mean that essentially if he goes Cloak Wraiths, Yeti's going to have the answer to it, because he's seen it so many times. Kind of crazy. 3rd Stargate coming in. There is a 4th base coming in here for for Reyna as well. Oh my goodness, for Yeti as well. Yeti's got some units up the top, stopping Reyna from being able to expand again. Now, there is a good number of tanks here. It's not that many, though. It's only about 15, I think. No, that's 14. I can't count. And a lot of the vultures getting caught off in the middle of the map. They want to go around and find probe kills, but they cannot do it. And as I said before, Reyna is on a timer. He scanned the carriers, but he's still building vultures, because he's essentially betting all on Wraiths. Not sure if this is going to work out for him. Interesting that he's not gone for like ship plating or ship armor or anything, but it takes so long to research. Maybe it's not too impactful, but this should be cool. We've still got a lot of carriers coming in. Interestingly, Yeti hasn't chosen to push or anything. He's just sitting back home with his carriers, just building them up. Is there any upgrades coming in? Yes, there is. I think this is probably going to be +1, although it could be +2. We'll see that when the Interceptors start to come in. Reyna's still continuing to scan all over the place. He wants to see if Reyna is going to be expanding. Now, the funny thing is, Yeti has an observer. He sees the starport, but he doesn't see the control tower. So he may just think that this is going to be for EMP, for vessels. But, I mean, this is Yeti. He's played against Radley forever, but we'll have to see how that's going to play out. Obviously, not too much is happening in the game right now as Reyna tries to build up to max. He's obviously adding on a ton of Wraiths because he wants to surprise Yeti with everything he has. It's essentially a game of not chance, but if he can get in before Yeti can tell that it's going to be Wraiths, and Yeti doesn't have like a million observers with his carriers, that's going to be pretty much game over. The Terran army is obviously going to be quite strong. It doesn't quite have the upgrades that we'd normally see. It is +2 attack getting researched at the moment. Now Yeti is pushing forward. He's taking a little bit of damage from the turret. Needs to pull this back. Doesn't want to take any hull damage. Hull damage against Wraiths is going to be massive. Now here we go. We have the Wraiths coming in. The Observer has spotted this. Where are the other observers? Yeti isn't pulling back. He is staying in. He saw them. Maybe he didn't see them moving on the minimap. And oh, there we go. The Observer finally coming in. Oh my god, those mines are massive. There isn't that many carriers here at the moment, so taking an engagement right now is not in Yeti's best interest. He's going up to 5 bases. Though it looks like he wants to jump in and wants to kill the army while he can. Now 4 carriers, and 5th and 6th are going to be coming in. Still got to keep an eye out on these Wraiths because we need to see exactly what's going to happen. +2 attack has finished, so this is the anti-timing for Yeti's Yeti's ground army. Now, let's see what the carriers can do. He's up to 6 now. One doesn't have any shields, or at least has very, very few. Oh, a 7th carrier coming in. He is building carriers off of 3 Stargates at a time. Let's not forget. Now, here come the wraiths. They're going to cloak. Where is the observer? It's going to be sat in between all the carriers, most likely. There is one here. Is there another one? No, there isn't. So it's the observer's actually getting a little bit further away than maybe it should be from the observers. Needs to build a couple more if he isn't already. It looks like Yeti's still preparing to try and move in. He wants to pick off some of the tanks. And there isn't actually that much in the air, but here we go. The wraiths coming in. They're going to target fire down one of the carriers. There's no armor upgrades. There's an observer there, but does he manage to snipe it? Yes, he does, but there's another observer right close by. It needs to move up, and another carrier is going to go down, but the wraiths are in so much trouble. He lost most of them, and this is the majority of Reyna's anti-air. The carriers are slowly going to start to go down. Obviously, killing 2 carriers, very, very good for Reyna. But it's just not going to be enough. He can't deal with these. The money of both players, by the way, is going up astronomically. Now, Yeti, of course, is maxed. Reyna needs to continue building units, but looks like another couple of wraiths are going down. Realistically, Reyna should be looking to try and sneak an expansion up here, but the carriers are in the perfect position to stop this. And things are definitely not going great for our Terran hero here, but Yeti is once again proving he is a very good carrier user. I mean, carriers are a useful skill to have, but when you can use them this well, that is pretty much perfect. And I mean, the carriers are sitting on top of turrets now. They're taking more and more damage, but they're going to clear up the turrets. The Dragoons coming in. I mean, the carriers really should be killing the tanks instead of the vultures, but I mean, Reyna is essentially down 60 supply now. Things are not looking good for him. He's lost most of his tanks. Oh my god, the mines, though, could have done so much, but they're not going to be able to do it. And I think this is going to be game. Reyna has no chance of expanding again. There we go. GG. Reyna taps out. Yeti takes game number 1. Now, of course, that was game number 1. As I pointed out, there is going to be a walkover in game number 2. A little bit unfortunate we'll have that, but that does give Koga an extra win. At least this one's a walkover anyway. We'll be back in just a few minutes with game number 3. It's going to be... let me double check, actually. I've completely forgotten. It's going to be Ziggy versus Coke. Should be a good one. Don't go anywhere. Toss a coin to your content creators, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your content creators, a friend of humanity. Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for Net Wars versus BuLL. Net Wars are currently up 2-0 in our first series today, and we're going to be heading into game number 3. It's going to be Ziggy versus Coke. Coke is a brand new player to the STPL. I don't actually know who he is, and I can't find any reference to anyone adding him, so I don't know if it's maybe someone has changed their name and no one's mentioned it to me. But either way, we've added him as the player in the database, and we can change it later if needs be. Let's have a look at our first player. It's going to be Ziggy. Ziggy acting as coach for Net Wars in STPL Season 2. He's been doing a pretty good job of it. He's not the highest ranked player in the STPL for sure. He's only ranked 98, but that's still fairly respectable. He's only got a 36% win rate, but he does have a 50% win rate against Terran, against Protoss even as this is a TVP. Coke, as I said, I don't know anything about, so we won't introduce him as much, but let's have a look at our map. It's going to be Multiverse. PvT on this map has been incredibly well balanced. Lots of very fun games here as well. Looking forward to seeing this one. Obviously close by air, close by ground, and cross positions make this map play out very, very differently. And that's how we do it. Obviously, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm reading about, like, for anyone watching the YouTube VOD wondering why I'm distracted, I'm reading about carpal tunnel and how bad cycling is for it, which I had no idea. But apparently it's something to do with tremors messing up the inside of wrists. And Radley's going on about how the special gloves for biking, and that was I was kind of reading that out of the corner of my eye. But essentially, Multiverse, a very, very fun map. Let's get into game number 3. It's Ziggy versus Coke, which makes him sound like a drug addict, but I don't think he is. So let's get into game number 3. Whoops. Okay, starting us off here in the top right hand position, we do have the Red Terran fighting for Net Wars. It's Ziggy, their captain, from Poland of course. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left hand position is the blue Protoss player fighting from I have no idea. It's Coke fighting from BuLL.
Keep it up, I dare ya.
This is the way.
Oh, thank you very much, C2 Slab, for the $5 donation. Means a lot, man. Thank you for the support. Now, this is a TVP. There can always be funky things happening in a TVP, but we've got a normal pylon for now. There's not going to be a proxy, but that probe is pylon scouting, so he's going to try and go for a gas steal. Looks like he won't quite make it. Ziggy should be able to get up his gas in time, but of course, it depends where this probe goes afterwards. There is still the option of, like, proxying robos and things like that, but Bradley is now saying he dropped biking because it's a really unhealthy sport, which is kind of crazy because I was gonna try and pick up, like, riding a bike to do exercise, but I guess anything that does put strain on your wrist could not be great. I should probably just start running, right? I do need to do some exercise though, and now this probe is definitely not going to get in a position to do a gas steal. He didn't scout first. Let's see what Ziggy's going to do. Ziggy oftentimes does standard builds, but he's not adverse to doing something like a 2-fact every now and then. When we look at Ziggy's actually average games against Protoss, they only usually last around 13 minutes, which, I mean, it beats the 6-minute curse of course, but it's always a risk. You never know what Protoss players are going to do. Now, is Ziggy going to pull off with gas, or is he going to stay on? If he stays on, it means we're going to get a 2-fact here. If he pulls off, it means we're going to see a more standard game. Radley's saying if you ride without rushing and use normal roads instead of some trail ones, it's fine. Yeah, but the roads around here are, like, really bad, so it's probably the same as doing the thing. Now, still not pulling out. It could still be for a starport, but it's more than likely going to be for a second factory. I don't think we're going to see Ziggy proxy it, but he could do. He doesn't know where his opponent is just yet, so he's going to check that out now. The probe has already gone home. And Ziggy still hasn't pulled out of gas. This is so strange. Because without pulling out of gas, you get your minerals later, which means you're going to expand a lot later. Now, is he going to go directly into a... Well, I mean, he's got to go directly into a machine shop here, right? But the second factory, yeah, he's building a second factory, but it's late. And Radley, I do want to lose some weight, so you're saying not to recommend it if you want to do, well, if you want to lose some weight, don't bike. So that's fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. Radley's just going on about how people forcing themselves to ride like 200 kilometers per week is a bit crazy. I'm way too lazy to do that, I think. That's a little bit too much for me. Even 20 kilometers seems like a lot. Oh my god, I'm so unfit. That is one of my major problems and something I definitely need to work on. I need to get a little bit fitter, and I'm not that much overweight, so it's not too bad, but I do need to lose a little bit. Hey, okay, good to see you, man. Just in case you missed, I'm going to be casting IRK's game on Wednesday. Now, Robo Facility coming in here for Coke. This is pretty good, pretty lucky, but it is going to be a Nexus. I believe this was on 23 supply. So this is a pretty good build. Well, this is a pretty good build for Ziggy to come across. Just because there's low gateway numbers. The second gateway is only just now coming in. And looks like we are going to have a push. Now, it is going to be double factories because he's going to go for double vulture upgrades. Speed is about to finish, which means he's going to be able to reinforce this very, very quickly. Mines are going to be on the way, and he should get Siege almost immediately after this, because Siege, very, very important once you get that foothold outside of the Protoss base. Now, is it going to be a Reaver here from Coke? Because if it isn't, this could be an incredibly fast game. And I don't think it is going to be a Reaver. There's actually no additional... Yeah, there's an observatory coming up at the front. This is the worst possible place this could be for our Protoss player here, because if the observatory's out front, if it gets sniped, there's no observers, and all of a sudden mines are crazy. And that's just ridiculous. Now, we've got 2 tanks, a ton of Marines, and Vultures constantly rallied. Mines at the back going to be blocking any form of retreat from these Dragoons, and also block any form of attack. This is going to be a very quick game. Get your 6-minute cursor modes ready, guys, because I don't see this lasting very long. There's 3 Dragoons against this many Marines, this many tanks, and Vultures are starting to get into the main as well. Mines are going to be placed everywhere. If Ziggy focuses down this observatory, there's only going to be 1 observer in the game. And that's not going to help you against the amount of mines, the amount of units they're going to come in here from Ziggy. Ziggy are doing a ton of damage to the probe line. Looks like Ziggy just wants to go for it. He's going to try and focus down these probes in the natural, go into the main, not even care about the Nexus. Oh my god, the Vultures in the main have done so much damage. How many kills? 4 and 5. That's only 9 kills. It feels like there should be more. But the amount of probes that have gone down this game is astronomical. A mine going down, killing the Dragoons at the front, killing the Dragoons at the back. Coke taps out, and Ziggy beats his addiction and wins the 3rd game. Also, I'm just going to say saying that Ziggy beat his addiction is kind of bad if people take it the wrong way. Maybe people don't actually take that seriously. I got to be careful what I say. Ziggy doesn't have a cocaine addiction. He may sound like a person from England, and yeah, I know a lot of people in England are addicted to cocaine, but Ziggy isn't, so... Nice execution on that 2-fact, Ziggy. You did a really good job. Coke stood absolutely no chance. And next we're going to be going into Zero's game, which is crazy. It's really rare to actually get to see... Well, is it rare? It feels rare that I actually get to see Zero play these days, because he obviously puts so much time into the BSL, kind of like how I put a lot of time into the STPL and stuff. But seeing Zero play in STPL is always fun. And Indigo Wild saying kicks lol. But yeah, once again, Ziggy, I'm just gonna say, well, I have no idea how you got your UK accent, but you sound more British than me a lot of the time, so that's kind of crazy. But this is gonna be Zero versus Dark. It's gonna be a ZVP when we get back after this very short break. See you guys soon.
And people like Kix, for example, who has an encyclopedic knowledge of every map that's ever been released on StarCraft. And
he's a map man! Skibidi on did it, dude. Skibidi on did it, dude. Skibidi on did it, dude. He's a map man! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-dee da-ba-ba-da-boop. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop. Bee-da-ba-ba-da-boop. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop. Everybody plays one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If Kix can do it, so can you.
Please don't listen to him for maps.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a ton of Matcherino codes still to use, so I'm making this quick video to show you how easy it is to actually use them. So you click the Matcherino link, it brings up the Matcherino page. In the top right, you hit sign in. You sign in with whatever you want to. In this case, I'm going to sign in with Twitch. That'll take you back to the page. And then if you hit contribute, you put in the coupon code LSTPL. You can put a comment if you want to. And you can hit contribute right there. And it'll add it to the prize pool. Easy as pie. Okay, it's time for a quick tip. Here we have Neo Outlier. I'm going to show you how to get over these temples with a probe. I'll also do it with an SCV and a drone as well. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 4 of this wonderful Net Wars vs BuLL series. We've had some good games so far. Game 1, a little bit crazy. Yeti won with carriers. He did a really good job. Reina never really stood a chance in that game, unfortunately. The next game after that, we saw Ziggy take down Coke in a very well executed 2-fact. In this game, we're going to be having the one, the only Mr. Bombastic Zero himself. He's going to be here once again. I said it was rare to see his games, and then I look and he's actually played him pretty much every single week. I think it's because, like, in my brain, I don't imagine him playing this much, but Kogan got the walkover in game 2, so it is a 3-0 victory in the series for Net Wars, but Zero is going to want to bring it home as a 4-0. This is going to be a very, very important match for them. I mentioned it before. Zero is a really good player. He's in the top 50. He's got a 56% win rate. He's 7 wins, 3 losses against Protoss. And just to give a little bit of a stat as well, Zero is currently in the all-time top streaks versus Protoss. It isn't current, unfortunately, so it won't be going on. But he is 5-0 against Protoss at one point. But this is a really, really good photo. And Dave's saying I don't pay any attention to this and I phone it in. Yeah, fuck off, Dave. Either way, Zero. Too busy with ASMR and Fortnite side projects. Oh my god. Oh, if I could make money doing ASMR, I would do. Yeah, I did. He did get me to swear. I swear way too much. It's fine though. I usually tone down my swearing when I'm casting, so it's all good. His opponent fighting for BuLL is going to be Dark. Dark has only got a 38% win rate overall, but is in the top 100 of STPL players. 2 wins, 4 losses against Zerg so far. He is actually a race picker like Dragon is, so he plays ZVP and PvZ, so he does know both sides of the coin. He's had some very, very tough opponents in his latest games. And one of his latest games, he actually got a win over VT's last, which was a really strong win from him. So he's definitely on the upswing. Looking forward to seeing how he's going to do against Mr. Zero here in game number 4. Oh, I've not introduced the map, have I? The map is Whiteout. Not super important. Thank you, Fuji, for the.
Pog champ.
Oh my god, Dave, what have you done? What have you guys done? You've done the PogChamp, but thanks, Eri, for the 1 year sub, man. Means so much. Thank you for the support. Whiteout, very good 3-player map from one of the latest seasons of ASL. If you've not seen it, it's on ladder, and it's a really good map, so you should play it. And let's get into game number 4. Wrong button again. Okay, starting us off in the 6 o'clock position, we have the one, the only Mr. Bombastic himself, proprietor of the BSL. I don't know if that's the right word. It's going to be Zero in the red, fighting for Net Wars from Poland. And his opponent spawning up here in the top left-hand position, we do have the yellow Protoss player fighting, if I remember correctly, I'm just double-checking, from Bolivia, for BuLL, it's Dark. Now we've got a Pylon Scout coming in from Dark here, so this is likely going to be a Forge Fast Expand. It's very unlikely you'd go for a Pylon Scout with a Gateway first, but we'll have to see. Obviously nothing is decided until it happens. And yeah, the trouble is, like, the economy for essentially the economy for channel points is way too good. Like, there's so much inflation in channel points, so I'm gonna need to start like putting the price of everything up. There is a way you can set smart costs, which I just think is dumb, really dumb. Now this is going to be his EVP. There is an overpull coming in from Zero. Zero going in with an Overlord, scouting in the wrong direction, so he's going to get a late scout on his opponent, but not going to worry too much. Oh my god, BuLL. Is Dark going to go for a Nexus first? This is incredibly risky. Wait, where's his money? How did he spend money before? Oh, it's because he built a proxy pylon. This is actually like the anti-timing for himself. Going into this pylon means they're going to build more Lings. And yeah, he can't go Nexus first anymore. He goes into Forge. That's really weird. Such an odd decision to do that. He is going to block Zero's expansion, which is incredibly annoying. But he is going to force out more Lings. Going to mean his late Forge is going to cause him problems because he's going to need to build more cannons. He's going to need to pull probes. And more importantly, he's not going to be able to get his Nexus up nearly as fast. But let's see if that's actually going to come into play. Zero, I mean, he's building 6 Lings at the moment. He has gone into Overpool Gas rather than Overpool Hatchery, so we should see quick Ling speed coming out here, possibly a very quick layer as well. And now the second Hatchery is up. It's coming up at the 3rd base. And that's kind of crazy, but looks like we are going to have the probe going down in the middle line. I really don't think it's getting away. Nice snipe by Zero there. A little bit unfortunate by Dark to lose that. Looks like he is, in fact, going to be able to go for his Nexus. But this is a lot later than you would normally want. Now, Albert's saying South American tosses normally go quick DT. I mean, I have seen it. We saw it yesterday, I think, in the BSL with La Boya, but that was in the PBT, I think. But in terms of PvZ, from what I've seen from Dark, he usually goes fast Stargate and goes for a very standard build. Going for a standard build in PvZ certainly isn't a problem. It's not too bad. Oh, you're talking about in PvT. Yeah, most of them go DT, but some of them do go Reaver a lot. I mean, Reaver and DT both really strong builds, especially against like players my level, which is quite low. So it gets a little bit harder to do it against better Terrans, which is why Loudboy had a few problems against SPX yesterday in the first game they played, I think it was. This is a lot of Lings. Zero's definitely been building quite a few, more than you'd normally see. He is going into his 3rd hatchery. Now, Zero started mining the gas super quickly. That was for Ling speed, so I don't know if Zero's planning on trying to do a Ling bust here. And I mean, it could work. There's only 3 probes here. There is a single Zealot, but the Zealot's moved out of the way. So the Zealot isn't blocking this this gap anymore, which Lings can go through. And we'll have to see how this is going to go, because the Cybernex Hall coming in, is he going to go quick Citadel or is he going to go quick Stargate? In terms of Zero, is he going to go into lair very quickly? If so, where is he building his lair? Because he's not done it just yet. He seems to have pulled off of gas a little bit too early to get a lair, but it feels like a little bit too late to get a Hydra Den. So I'm not really sure what Zero's plan is here, because without going for the gas, without going for Hydra Den, you're essentially just committing yourself to either massling or going mass drone. But then if you're going massling, why did you mine the next 140 gas? Oh, links can't pass if gate is above the forge, my bad. Yeah, this is definitely a weird build by Zero. Okay, so he is going to finally start mining gas again. He has gone up a lot of drones. He's on 23 already. That is a huge amount of drones this early in the game. He's not going to be able to do any damage anywhere for sure, but there's a 4th hatchery coming in before a lair. This is really dangerous, because if Dark goes for Corsair DT, for instance, what are you going to do against this? You won't have Hydras. He's going to have Corsair. He's going into Templar Archives immediately, going into the additional gateway. This could very well be DTs. The Hydra Den, the lair, everything is incredibly late for Zero here. I mean, the lair's only just started and we're at 6 minutes. Now, there is a Hydra Den at the 3rd base, which is a good thing that it's up. That's definitely going to cause problems being that late, I think. A 2nd gas even is coming in. The 1st Corsair is going to come out. There is absolutely nothing in this game that can contest it. Okay, I tell a lie. There's one Hydra. But as Albert says, it feels like this isn't very decisive from Zero. It's almost like he wasn't sure exactly what he wanted to do. Maybe he wanted to go for an all-in, and then he decided against it. Now the problem with that is the more indecisive you get, the better Protoss is, because if we see DTs coming in here, DTs are going to completely wipe the floor with these bases if the Corsairs get to a high enough count. Now we've not got any Dark Templar yet, but we've not got any Storm coming in yet either. Now losing this Corsair would be a pretty big deal, so needs to be careful with that. The Zealot's going to come out and engage this Hydra, going to engage the Lings as well, but this isn't a fight really these Zealots want to take. They're actually taking a lot of damage just moving around. And I mean, the Zealots, yes, they've cleaned up the units out the front, but at what cost? The Corsair is going to go down, the Overlord goes down, but trading a single Corsair for a single Overlord is not worth it. And the Hydras are going to be able to kill all these Zealots. Now, there is a DT here now. The Hydras are going to go down. So that's definitely good for Dark. Now, this does give Zero the knowledge that, of course, there is DTs in the game now, so he's going to have to put an Overlord at each of his bases. Dark is starting to add on a ton of gateways here. No 3rd base on the way just yet. It's going to be very difficult to be able to expand. Now, these Overlords are actually moving away from the 3rd base here. That would be very, very painful. But looks like he is going to move them back. So the DT coming in around the top shouldn't be able to do too much, but he does. Oh my god. If he gets into the natural expansion, there is no Overlord anywhere near there. This Corsair is blocking the Overlords from getting back. And look at this. The DT, it's coming in. The drone's trying to block, but the drones aren't going to be able to block here. The Corsair going to push the Overlord away, and the DT's going to get the main. There is absolutely no detection here. What a massive misstep by Zero. And he's pulling the drones, which is nicely done. And I mean, the Corsair's still trying to push the Overlords away. Overlord speed is done, so luckily enough, he doesn't lose too many drones, and he does still have loads of them. So 66, I don't even know what I was trying to say, 36 overall, which is a crazy amount. And the drone pull is actually really huge there. That saved a lot more drones that could have gone down. Looks like Dark possibly getting ready to take a 3rd base here. Yeah, I was trying to say 66 or something. I don't know, it was coming out weird. 63 or something. It was strange. I mean, the supplies are so unbelievably close. Zero's done an incredible job macroing up. The important thing to remember is, unlike a Zerg normal 70 supply where maybe 30 of them are drones and 40 are Hydras, there's only 30 supply in attacking units here for Zero, so he does need to be careful, because having an even supply army against a Protoss player, especially when they have Storm, is not great. Now it looks like we are going to have the... oh my god, that Storm! That Storm is massive, getting so many of the Hydras. Looks like he's trying to target Fire Down. The High Templar survives with 1 health. Oh my god, that micro from Dark, keeping that High Templar alive. Wow, what a move. To not lose that High Templar is crazy. This kind of puts like the difference between Avi's game and Zero's game this week. When we saw Avi play on Monday, I think it was. Like on, it was on this map as well. There was like no High Templar at any point in the game. I think it may have been on New Tornado actually against Sugo. Like Sugo just couldn't get a High Templar because Avi kept sniping them all. But keeping those High Templar alive, very, very good. This High Templar now has nearly enough for 2 storms. So that's going to be pretty good. Now there's the first storm. Not making sure not to waste it. He doesn't want to lose this High Templar with the storm energy, so he is going to throw that down first most likely. Here we go, another storm at the back. Not doing too much, not super impactful, but he is going to be able to retreat back with his High Templar, at least for the time being. Look at Zero, his army is getting really messed up by the fact he can't see very, very far. Due to the virus. But here we go, the hero High Templar going to go down here, I think. I don't think he's going to be able to survive. Oh! Okay, no, he does die. I was going to say, if that survives then, that'd be kind of crazy. But it looks like we do have a third base coming up here for Dark. It is a little bit far away, but he wants to try and take the other main if he can. He's not going to be able to secure it for now, but he is going to split off some units and maybe go for it. The cannon's not going to be able to go down. There's going to be no High Templar up there for Storm, at least for the time being. So I think this third base could go down. Zero definitely doing incredibly well. And there's 2 Yacht accounts in chat. What on earth? And Lucky Noob saying a very important point. Is it really a secret if it was found out? Well, it's also, we knew about it as well. So is it really a secret build? Yeah, there's one other Yaj. Well, come on Yaj, don't do that again. I told you off on Monday. No, on Friday, but don't make me do it again. We don't use that word here, man. It's not a nice word. You're damn right you can't use that word. Is all the other Yach accounts, is that all one guy or is that someone? Oh my god, 3 DTs dropping in the main. Even with Hydras here, they're gonna melt. But look at the drone block, oh my goodness. Zero's micro this game has been stellar with his workers. I mean, yes, the DT's got 2 kills. But essentially that's 2 drones, and most of his, for most of his Dark Templar and most of his High Templar as well. Zealots even. Now we've got another third base coming up here from Dark. Zero of course doesn't have a 4th just yet. So this is actually quite good timing. But the point is, can he keep this alive? This is a ton of Hydras, but this is a ton of Storm. Nice first Storm. What is the 2nd and 3rd Storms going to be like? A lot of Lurkers coming in. Looks like an Archon's been made, so not too many more Storms left. I think that was the final Storm, wasn't it? No, there is 1 Storm here. There is 2 Storms. So if he can storm the Lurkers and kill them, he's going to be in a good spot. But the High Templar, it's going to go down. He needs to use the Storm. There we go. 1 Storm on the Lurker here. Nice 2nd Storm out of that High Templar. Very, very important he gets that. Lowers the Hydra count a little bit. Now, I seem to keep seeing out the corner of my eye units rally down to the 3rd base of Zero. So unfortunately, Dark losing extra units they didn't really want to be losing right now. And it looks like my friends either aren't playing Siege yet or they're stuck in a big queue. Because they're both in chat. Well, 2 of them are in chat, should I say. But yeah, it's always nice to see them here every once in a while, trolling around. Looks like we are going to have another push though from Dark, moving forward into the Lurkers, into the Hydralisks. But unfortunately there's just too many units from Zero now. The supply is now in favor of our Zerg player. He's almost got as many probes, or as many drones as the Protoss has probes. There's absolutely no way Dark is going to be able to go down here. And if he loses all of these units, there's going to be nothing he can do to save this third base. That's a really nice storm, a really nice double storm, but unfortunately it's not enough to secure this base. He's going to have to pull the probes back, and I mean, this cannon, it's not in range to do anything. It's just going to go down. And yeah, as Lucky Noob says, Storm is a good unit, but apparently Hydras are a little bit stronger. And that's certainly showing in this game, because no matter how many units Dark is able to muster here, Zero just has more soldier. Well, I guess he does technically have more soldiers, but I meant to say he has more Hydralisks. Oh man, my words are not good today. I went back to work for the first time in like almost like a couple of weeks. So I've spoken more during the day than I have in like the last 2 days. Now Dark's continuing to hold on his upgrades, 2-0 against 1-1, so upgrades are favouring the Protoss player here, but unfortunately the unit count still not favouring him. Cannons being added on, but what are they going to be defending? The Nexus is about to fall, and with this Nexus falling, so does Dark's hopes in this game. I think he's down 20 supply against a Hydra player. Now this is kind of funny, running away his probes in the forest, so the poor Hydras can't get to them. But I mean, look how big Dark's army is. He's got 40 supply, but I just don't know where it is. He's got 48 workers, so I guess he only got 30 supply in units, but those are some stellar storms. That's a third Yaj account. What the hell? Who are all these people? Now Dark is going to try and expand up to the top right, but there's Hydras coming up here as well. Looks like Zero is not going to fall for the same trick twice. And that's going to be game, surely. I mean, how many times do I have to say this? There's absolutely no way Dark is going to be able to hold on here. I don't know how it's possible. The lone High Templar at the top, getting one Hydra, 10 kills overall, not too bad. It looks like we're going to have Dark push out one more time. There is not an observer here that I can see, so he can't kill the Lurkers. The Archon with his +2 attack does a ton of damage, but isn't going to do much more. He's only got 13 supply of actual attacking units. There was the observer. And yeah, there's just too many Hydras. Now let's go back to his main. He's not even bothering to get Hive. There's a single Zealot coming over here to the third base. There's a single Zealot running to the fourth base as well. And that's it. GG. Zero taps out. And Dark taps out and Zero takes game number 4. Okay, so that is the end of our first series of today. Kind of cool that we got through it so fast, honestly. It was definitely a game, as Buena says, but certainly wasn't the most exciting game there from Dark. Zero did some fantastic moves in his defense, and at the end of the day, Dark just couldn't break him. And when that happens, when you get Hydra and Lurker contained, there's really not too much you can do as a Protoss player. He had some stellar storms, but even that wasn't enough. Zero's macro was too good. And that's going to be taking us through into the results screen before we head into our second series. That's going to be... It says it on... It doesn't say on Twitch anymore. Oh my goodness. And yeah, I need to stay hydrated. I've actually got water here and I keep forgetting to drink it. But I'll do that during the break. Let's have a look at the results. Okay, it's a 4-0 victory for NetWars. Yeti taking down Reyna. Koga getting a walkover over Anchor, unfortunately. Ziggy taking down Coke. And Zero taking down Dark. That is a very important win for NetWars. They are incredibly close to getting into the playoffs. And Yaj, I have no idea who Coke is, but I can only assume Ziggy was fighting some kind of addiction. But it's a new dude for BuLL that, as Albert says, that I didn't actually know about. So we threw him in the database, and that was it. So let's go for a quick break. I will be back in just over 5 minutes, most likely, with series number 2. It's not going to be any of these. It's going to be Psy versus EF, and it should be a good one. See you guys soon.